Hello, back again. Uh, so let's get into it, I suppose. I have another tag that I figured I could do. And this one I saw on like Woe's channel, and I believe she said it was originally done by it's a book world. And it is the classics book tag. So there's a few questions, so we'll just jump in. First up is, what is an overhyped book that you really don't like? Uh, there's several overhyped classics I can think of that I really did not enjoy at all. Um, but the first two that really come to mind, one would be The Great Gatsby. Everyone was obsessed with it a couple of years ago due to the movie coming out. Um, It was not my particular favorite. When I remember reading it back in high school, I did end up enjoying the movie, um, mainly because of like the music, but the book itself just was not my thing at all. Like I liked the narrator, but I was pretty disgusted with everybody else involved in the story, and Daisy's a bitch. So let's leave it at that. Second book I can think of would be Jane Eyre, by Charlotte Bronte. Everybody seems to be pretty obsessed with the Bronte sisters in general. I have not tried any of their other books because of the amount of loathing that I have for Jane Eyre. Um, I don't like her. Mr. Rochester sucks. And yeah, in general, that was like an entire 2 weeks out of the summer back when I was in high school that I'm never going to get back. So, no, thank you. Number two, what is your favorite time period to read about? I would say that it's a tie either between the Regency period with books like Jane Austen, or I do like kind of more modern written romances that are set in that period because they're usually pretty um, funny. So I do like that time period. And other than that, I really enjoy books written during the 30s and 40s, mostly mysteries, um, like by Dorothy L. Sayre, although that's more like earlier time periods, I guess, earlier turn of the century, some of her things. But Agatha Christie, like I like that kind of time period for like mystery novels. I really enjoy that. Um, let's see, favorite fairy tale. Um, Overall, I would say my absolute favorite fairy tale is 12 Dancing Princesses. Um, I don't think it's really talked about that much. It's not really a lot of movies or anything really made about it. I don't know if there's any retellings of it actually, but I've read a couple of different versions of it, and I really love that one. Um, Other than that, I really like I also really like Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella and Snow White, but I honestly like retellings of those three more than just like the original ones. Um, what is the most, or what is the classic you are most embarrassed you haven't read yet? Um, Actually, that's tied in with another question on here, but I would say one of the most ones I'm embarrassed about, I guess, would be 1984. I feel like that's a pretty big one in everybody's list, and most people have read it some point in school, but we never covered it. Um, and yeah, I'm kind of like maybe I really should get around to reading that at some point. Uh, So I guess that could go on the next question as well, which is top five classics that you want to read soon. I would say 1984 is on there. Um, I would also like to read, there's a couple of Jane Austens that I haven't read. I have not read Emma, so I really want to read that one. And I have tried to read Sense and Sensibility a couple of times and just I haven't really gotten to the groove of it. Um, but I do want to read that one soon. And three, God, uh, other than that, I have The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. This is a big fat boy, which is um, why I haven't gotten around to reading it quite yet. And other than that, I've got Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes, and this one I have had for a very, very long time. Um, and it's also a thick boy, so that's why I haven't got around to it yet. And it's also, you want to see the rating is very so yeah. But I do want to get to these, and those in fact are two that I want to get to this year if possible. Next up is favorite modern book or series based on a classic. I would say favorite book series based on a book or series. Well, I really like. Let me see. That is a good one, I guess. I guess kind of mixing the terms of classics. If you're counting like mythology or legends or anything under classics, I would say probably my favorite series would be Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I really enjoy those. It's not really retellings, I guess, in a sense, but like I just yeah, I like that series. um, favorite movie or show made from a classic. So my favorite show made from a classic would probably be UBC's version of Sherlock. And my favorite movie made from a classic is probably a tie between Muppet Christmas Carol and the 2005 version of Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley in it. Love it. Um, let's see. The worst classic to movie adaptation. Um, I don't know if it's really the worst adaptation I've ever seen, technically. Um, but it's definitely one that I did not enjoy and in fact kind of traumatized me when I was a kid, and that is Animal Farm. Um, I think there is like an animated version of it, but I did not watch the animated version. I watched the live action one, and I remember, I think it was a little while after Babe came out, and I was kind of, and like Gordy and stuff like that, so I was really into like movies about like talking farm animals and stuff like that. And I convinced my parents to, let's watch Animal Farm. And I'm guessing they never had to read that book when they were in school, maybe, or maybe it was written like, probably written, too late for that. I don't know. But anyway, they let me watch it, and I did not eat any pork products for about 2 years after that. So, I don't, yeah, I don't, that would be my worst adaptation that I can think of. Um, let's see, favorite edition that you like to collect more from. Well, one, I have the this really pretty like version of Wonderful Wizard of Oz and like first 6 or 7 books in it, and I really like that, but it's a Barnes and Noble classic, I believe, and Barnes and Noble is sadly no more. So unless I can find it online for cheap somewhere. That's not gonna happen. Otherwise, I have this I picked up, or not Barnes& and Noble, Borders, excuse me, Borders Classics, because this is a Barnes& and Noble exclusive uh, copy thing, I believe. Yeah, it's a Barnes& and Noble one, but it is this copy of The Odyssey, and the cover is kind of like very pliable and leather, I guess, maybe, I don't know. And it's really pretty. So yeah, I would like to collect more books that are kind of in this style because it's really pretty. Let's see. And the last question is underhyped classic that you would recommend. I have two. One sort of underhyped, but not quite. So it would be Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I know that a lot of people love Jane Austen, but I feel like this one is not one of hers that's talked about as much as, say, Pride and Prejudice, of course, or Emma, Sense and Sensibility, Persuasion, even. Um, this one was, I believe, the first one she ever wrote, and um, honestly, this even surpasses Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion for me because it's just so funny. The satire in here. Um, Catherine Morland is just a wonderful character. Like it's really, really good. So yeah, I would recommend that. And the other one I can think of is Titus Andronicus by William Shakespeare. This one I never hear anybody talk about this play, and maybe because it's gross. I read this in college for a Shakespeare class, and it honestly, it is. It's pretty uh it's fairly gross. There's some gross things that happen in here. There's some bloodshed, there's some cannibalism, there's some weird shit in here, but I love it. It has um the possibly first ever recorded mom joke in here. Um, it's it's wonderful. So if you are down with Shakespeare and like you like reading him or you like anything that I just said in here, I would read this because yeah, I never really hear anybody talk about this play and it's really good. So yeah, I would recommend that unless you have a problem with cannibalism. Uh, hopefully everyone should. But yeah. Um so uh that is that tag. That's the end of the video pretty much. Um the probably still here. Um doing this thing. So bye.